Hey guys, some gamer dude here, so if you want to keep up with the channel, make suggestions for new videos, or just want to talk with me personally, I've got a new Discord server, links in the description, hope to see you there, and let's get on with the video. Hey guys and gals, some gamer dude here, so who's ready for the second round of Godzilla reveals? Well, it's not really Godzilla now, but we'll get into that in a sec. I want to mention a couple of things first. One, I have seen the reveals from Gen Con. They're a bit too blurry to actually talk about just yet, but I will say I am happy to see Anguirus. Not surprised, but I am happy. And I am a little surprised to see Minya. I know he's not popular in the West, and we have seen Godzilla Jr., but to have both Godzilla Jr. and Minya makes me happy. Second off, I didn't pay much attention to the box, and it has Destoroyah and Batra on it. That actually means that most of the kaiju I care about are in this set confirmed, except my number one favorite, King Shisa. King Shisa's kind of my favorite kaiju, and he still isn't here. You know, Bandai, maybe King Shisa EX card. Even if he's not here, maybe next expansion, King Shisa EX card. And say King Shisa, I really don't like the dubs. King Caesar, I really can't get past that one. How is a dog that's clearly, well, a statue lion dog that's clearly a Shisa, a Roman emperor? I don't know. Anyway, let's get on with the actual reveals and not my discussions about dub things. Let's start with Gaara, who, if he doesn't look familiar, it's because he's only tangentially connected to Godzilla. He stars in a movie called War of the Gargantuans, which has, I believe, Baragon in it, who, another little nice, interesting thing there is, Baragon is who Nidoking is based on. Because a lot of the old Pokemon are based on Kaiju. Because the heavy influence for Pokemon was Ultraman and Godzilla. But, yeah, this might mean Baragon's in here if Gaira's in here. This might also mean we get a lot of other Toho movies that aren't technically Godzilla movies but are tangentially connected to it. Well, technically, Mothra kind of is the original because Mothra is really independent. She was her original first movie in 1961, but I don't think she appeared with Godzilla until much later, like the mid to late 60s, well after Godzilla vs. King Kong. Anyway, let's get started with Gaara. Let's actually talk about him instead of going and talking about movies. He's a 5 strength for 5, which makes him actually pretty good for Chrono Clash. He has withdraw, so when he dies, he goes back to your hand, and when he comes out, he gives one of you guys plus 5 strength, which I think is pretty cool. As I've noted before, this set is really heavy on the costs, so you probably are still going to be able to do something with that 5. I think it's going to be a little bit on the difficult side to maybe use him all the time because it's a 5 cost. You're going to have to wait till your opponent gives you a hefty amount of time. But hey, it gives plus 5 to something. Plus 5 to most of this stuff in this Godzilla set is going to break through a lot of things. They're all big, beefy boys, which I like from a thematic side, but I still see the Naruto set being able to play little things over and over and just sweep them that way. I'll be really curious when it comes out. But as far as Gaara goes, against the Godzilla sets, which is probably what he's balanced for, he doesn't seem that bad. Not great, but not bad. He could stand to be a bit cheaper. Against the Naruto sets, oh god, I would not bother with him. I'd use him for... Oh wait, he doesn't have an ability, so you can't even use him for questing. Oh jeez. Gaara's probably the first card I just kind of wince at. Next up, we have Daigon, who is an extra deck card. Daigon from 1972, apparently. He has 5 strength for 5 cost, which, again, like a lot of these Godzilla cards, they're all pretty much on par, not like the Naruto sets, which have lower strength to cost. He has swiftness, double breaker, and when he comes out, untap one of your guys and tap one of your opponents. Now, the tap one of your opponents means you get to slam into something that's standing that they're trying to protect or they're waiting to attack with, which is pretty cool. If you can get Gigan to power up a bit more, he can slam into them himself. But you get to reuse an attacker, which I think is pretty neat. I don't know how the cost thing will work because, well, It really depends on how many guys you can keep on board. You might want to use actually something that's not got any toughness left. So just pop that, bring out Daigon, well, after something else is attacked and maybe it's attacked, and then yeah, go from there. I think that untapping your own guy is the much more beneficial part of this effect than tapping your opponent. Unless there's some effects, I think that King Ghidorah we saw might be the only one worth tapping if they, you know, keep it untapped so it can keep tapping and doesn't get killed. But yes, this one's iffy too. We'll see how it goes. But again, the untap your own is the best part of it. And the 5 strength is in this set, I'm starting to get iffy on strength below 7. Next up, we have a really, really cool looking card. Godzilla 1965 doing the weird dance on the moon. For 7 cost, you get an 8 strength, double breaker, and leader 2. So when he attacks, your next guy costs -2, which I think is pretty cool. I like him. He helps the cost reduction. I don't know what not to like there. It's a simple card. It really is, but simple doesn't mean bad. It does a lot of decent things to help, and it gives your opponent less resources to play with because you'll say you only give them one time. And again, in these sets where a lot of things are really fat, you bring yourself over really far. I like Godzilla 1965. I think he's a quite a good card. Simple but good. Next up, we have Godzilla the Third Form, which is I didn't realize this from the Godzilla the Fourth Form from last time. This is Shin Godzilla. Just enough mention, I didn't really like Shin Godzilla. I thought it was kind of boring, on the same level as Ebera. Wow, that might be catch me some hate, but that's like my opinion, man. Uh, I actually quite like the recent Godzilla King of the Monsters. Actually, someone might say I have shit taste because I like the Minion movie with the little kid. Maybe I do have shit taste. Anyway, Godzilla the Third Form is a 6 strength for 6, which again is on par, and he's much like the last Godzilla we saw. Actually, he's exactly like it. Don't know why he's set in a different template, but um, yeah, double breaker. Next one costs -2 after he attacks, and he costs 1 less. Yeah, he's got 2 less power, so he doesn't hit as hard, but I think he's cool. I mean, it's kind of a really horrible image to look at. He's like, life is pain, but he's useful. He is useful. We'll give him that. Next up, we have Mantago, which is another one from another Toho movie. It's not. I actually don't even think it has any connection to Godzilla whatsoever. Someone might correct me in the comments, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't. The full cost, he has 3 strength and he has withdraw, so when he dies, he comes back to your hand. When he's destroyed as a battler, he gets to tap something, and when he's destroyed as a guardian, he gets to tap something. I'm going to be quite honest now. While the actual ability on the board seems really neat, and actually it is for certain scenarios when you want to tap something down to go after it and kill it. I actually think the ability on the shield is a bit more beneficial, tapping something down so it can't attack you. It's the see, it's because you can't use it as a sentinel in this really easily. You'd have if there was some way to give it sentinel permanently, it would be a different situation because you could just go, huh, it's a sentinel now. You have to kill it, which means I get to tap down one of your guys, and he keeps coming back, and he'll come back with sentinel. But now it's just kind of he comes out, I attack the guardian stack or whatever, or I suicide him. I don't know. He taps something. It doesn't give that much benefit, at least not in my opinion. We'll see how it goes when he comes out, but I just don't really feel it, to be honest. Next up, we have Mothra, the Phoenix of the Sea. She is a 4 strength for 7, which wow below curve. Double breaker, elusive, which means she can only be attacked by other battlers with elusive. She has the ability, I forget what it's called now, but it's the red flag. When she's destroyed, you can destroy the top card of your deck, and if it's a battler, it goes to your hand. When she's destroyed, you get to draw a card, so it's a +2, And as a guardian, when she's destroyed, she comes to your hand, so she's a +1 there. She's actually really cool. She gives you a lot of stuff. Between all her abilities, she gives you a +3. She's actually really cool for questing, because if you go for the quest with her, they come at it, you can just keep bringing it back, and that's really cool. I like that, and I think that's neat. I like that mechanic of, okay, I use this as a quest. They keep going after my questing guy. She comes back, and as I said, you get a +2 off for dying, which is pretty cool. And she's hard to attack into. 4 strength again might make her die from attacking, but actually it probably will. It probably will make her die. But again, you get +2 out of it. Next up, we have Auger, who is another EX battler card. He is a 5 strength for 5 again. He has swiftness, double breaker, and when he battles, he gains elusive. Now, apparently, the way this works out is when you tap, he gains that ability, and then you choose the target. So, I don't know why he doesn't have elusive. I think it's so that he can be attacked afterwards, but it's okay. It's all right. It's not the greatest thing in the world. Um, Actually, going back to it, the Mantago would actually be pretty interesting with Godzilla third form or Godzilla 1965 lowering costs, and then you go into an EX battler like Auger here, and then just keep going on. It combat extends. It's neat. And our final card for the day is Chien Collapse, which is a 1 cost ability card, which has the effect of your battler from your graveyard returns to your hand, which is fine for 1, and ability of the exact same thing. So there's that. Can get cards back that you really need and you want to use again. And I think for 1, that's a perfectly good cost for that. It could actually stand to be a bit more expensive, but it's a good card. I like it. Anyway, today's been a bit more iffy than last time. I don't think there's been as many great cards. Again, I do want to play with them before I give a total. This card is crap. I want to actually have an informed opinion before it's anything beyond. This is my initial gut reaction. But I'm still looking forward to seeing the rest of the spoilers. I really can't wait for it. And the set's only about 16 days away now, and I can't wait for it. This has been Some Gamer Dude, and thanks for watching.